How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Definitely been a streaming Saturday, but I cannot complain. Life is good, all that good stuff. I'm supposed to basically have a one-on-one discussion with my brother from another mother, Adrian Gonzalez. So I'm just waiting for him to call in. But I figure, hey, I usually don't go live on Saturdays, but sometimes you got to switch it up and see where it takes you, because for the most part, it's looking like most Americans are going to be getting their second stimulus check, and we're living in some interesting times right now. So, with that being said, um, what are you going to do with your second stimulus check? That is a good question. Especially I know for those who are in very, very, very bad, dire financial straits right now, that they are going to utilize it for food. They're going to utilize it to pay bills and things of that nature. And the direction of the economy right now is actually interesting, um, where it's basically at right now. So where it's going to take us, where we're going to go, it's very, very interesting. So I will see if my brother's coming on tonight, if I can hit him up. But it's very interesting times because the word stagnation possibly comes to mind where the economy may go, no matter what happens in regards to an election. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. You got to excuse me, my allergies have been acting up all day, so for my reason they just started to take hold right now. And thanks for the love, Tiffany Jones. I greatly appreciate that. Hey, what's going on, sir? You got time now or busy? Okay, cool. Sounds like a plan. Ain't no problem. Bye bye. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So Adrian will not be joining us tonight, but it's all good. But it is definitely going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Thanks again, Tiffany Jones, for the love. I greatly appreciate that. And if anybody wants to call in, I will put the link in the chat session, in the chat room. So definitely, if you want to call in, just click the link and give me your thoughts and whatnot on today's second stimulus check and even the state of the economy and whatnot. It's very, very, very interesting times that we're living in right now. So I'm only going to be on for 30 minutes. I was planning to talk to a brother from another mother, but he got occupied right now, and it's all good. So I'm like, all right, well, if anybody else wants to have a discussion, cool. If not, it's all good. We'll go from there. Because the very interesting thing, what's happening right now, is that especially with the housing market, you see that the housing, even though we got the COVID-19 going on, but you still see housing prices skyrocketing, and it's one of the biggest reasons is because a lot of people are not trying to move, they're not trying to sell their house. You see a lot of uncertainty, so they're just kind of trying to figure out what is their next move, even if they wanted to move and whatnot. So that obviously causes less inventory, and with less inventory, the prices will go up and whatnot. Now, I'm not calling myself a real estate expert or an economist or anything of that nature, but I am definitely saying one thing with sincerity, that the opportunity of things becoming stagnated possibly within the beginning of 2021, because that's kind of my mind, is that mentally at 2021, not at 2020 anymore. So where things may end up within 2021 will be very interesting, and it's going to trying to figure out what is the next step, and what is going to be your moves, things of that nature. Because we know a lot more layoffs are going to come eventually. Um, Whether, no matter what happens, no matter who's in office, I mean, the smart people know who see what's happening and what's going to happen. There's already been a prediction for years about mass layoffs um, due to automation and things of that nature. So there's a book by a former presidential candidate, Andrew Yang. I forgot the name of the book, but I will look it up right now. Whatever your political side is, I really don't care. But when I read this book, it was very interesting, and I read it twice actually. I forgot the name of the book because it just had a lot of realistic aspects in regards to where the economy is now, regardless of who's in. And I like to hear the people that want to go off of economic predictions, not political predictions. So, matter of fact, I will look. Yang book, the war, and it's called "The War on Normal People" and whatnot. Actually, a very good book, and it's the truth about America's disappearing jobs and why universal basic income is our future. Now, I don't know about if that's going to be, the future, because I get the premise in that regards, um, in regards to, you know, basically, if you've ever been to the state of Alaska, and if you're a resident in Alaska for a specific amount of time and you own property, or you're a renter, you prove that you're a resident within the state of Alaska, you get a oil stipend and whatnot. And it's an idea that was actually done by a Republican governor decades ago, of saying, hey, the state made a deal with the oil companies, and the oil companies are basically saying, hey, we're drilling oil here, and we want to give the state X amount of dollars and whatnot because they're allowing us to do business here. And the governor just said, hey, look, we don't want to get in that, in anybody's business. So why don't we just give the money to the residents of the state of Alaska? And you have people, so say for a great example, if you have 5 people living in a house, everybody in that house is getting $1,000 a month. So you're getting 5 G's a month. Plus, if you have a job, I heard in certain, well, at least in the Anchorage, Alaska area, is actually expensive. But $5,000 a month is nothing to shy at and whatnot, unless you're in like the Bay Area or something like that. But yeah, so it's like you get $1,000 a month per person in your household. And I get the idea of basic income. Will that ever happen in anyone's lifetime? I don't know. I think it would be nice to have that as a cushion. But the thing is, without financial literacy, people are just going to, it's still going to make certain products the number one thing sold because people go, hey, I got this extra $1,000 a month. This is my cushion. I'm still going to blow a bunch of money like it's Las Vegas and whatnot. And like I said, I think the times of and this, like I said, this isn't political nonsense. This isn't anti-corporate or government nonsense. This is just realistic, basic math. I'm a basic math kind of guy. I don't care what your political stances are. I'm a basic math kind of guy. So my basic math tells me that the days in the United States of people just thinking that it's fine to just barely get by, even when you don't, because nowadays you have options, even in the coronavirus economy, you have options to have other side hustles and things of that nature. Before that, you had other options for more side hustles and whatnot, even more. And nobody could have foresaw this happening, what's going on today. So nobody. That's what I said. I'm not talking down to anybody, but I am saying with all sincerity that there's no way that anyone could have foresaw this. But now is the time to start getting cash heavy. We need to be a cash heavy society in a sense that don't buy the Jordans, don't buy the overpriced dress shoes, don't buy the overpriced suits, don't buy the overpriced jewelry. Keep it to the necessities until you. I put a post on Facebook and it says if you don't have $20 to your name, then stop buying up the bar. Well, nowadays you can't because the bar is closed. But whenever you have a chance to buy up the bar and you barely got enough to keep your bank account open, I just think getting back to the simple principles of financial literacy needs to, we need to get back to that because you have the susu. You have the susu. And I'm not talking down about the susu because I know it's a thing, it's an aspect that actually works for people. So I commend the susu. You know what I mean? But the right people, you have to have the right mindset, as my brother Ronald Samuel would say. You have to have the right mindset for operating in the susu environment. Because it comes from other other cultures operated like that, because you think about it, in a lot of other countries, especially quote unquote third world countries, there's no social security, there's no retirement pension system. So a lot of families needed to have a system like the SUSU, and I will read the definition of it because I'm not an expert in it. I don't do it. But a friend of mine has talked about it, and it's working for him, and that's all that matters. For me, selling my products with Larry's Anything Goes and buying real estate, that works for me, not this. But the SUSU is a group of people who come together and make regular weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly monetary contributions to a common fund, which is then just dispersed as a lump sum to one member in each cycle. For example, say 10 people join and each puts in $100 a week. You know, it gets basically, it just goes into that. You know, they put in $100 a week. Each week for 10 weeks, one of those 10 people will receive the whole $1,000 until each person has had a term. All right. And that's the basics of it. There's way more when it comes to the SUSU. Like I said, I'm not knocking it because it actually works. The SUSU actually reminds me, in a sense, of the one family that one gentleman I know, well, I don't know, but I've talked to before. I think he sold his store, his 7-Eleven store, to one of his family members. But I used to go to this one 7-Eleven quite frequently. And this one gentleman, he's of Indian descent, really nice guy, I forgot his name. He stated, and I quote, me and my family practice a version of the SUSU. However, him and his family are like 50 to 60 people spread throughout the United States of America. And they contribute money, you know, voluntarily to a specific pot on a monthly basis. And when they have a family reunion, the family reunion doesn't just consist of them, you know, having good barbecue, good food, good music, you know what I'm saying, games and stuff for the kids. They have all that when it comes to the family reunion. However, there's a portion of the family reunion, mostly where the adults and the teenagers take part in, where there's presentations talking about the family businesses that they have, from hotels to 7-Elevens to other Subways, other franchises, and they're talking about how well those are doing, and they actually contribute some of the profits from those organizations into the quote unquote family SUSU, their version of it. But the difference between them is they're putting money into a pot to not only save, but they're doing the process of saving and investing, meaning that they're taking money from the pot, excuse me, taking money from the pot, and they're actually, if they present well, they actually state that they want to buy into a specific franchise, or they want to own a specific business, and they want to borrow the money from that. So their aspect of SUSU is actually taking the money, not only just saving it, but investing it. And they're buying more assets for the family members and whatnot, and they're being able to pass these assets down. And not only that, they buy real estate. So I'm with the asset accumulation aspect of things, because I think ownership is impeccable nowadays, especially in the African American community. Ownership outside of owning your own property is impeccable in the African American community. Not singling anyone else out, not saying anything else bad. I actually commend other communities, because that's in their blood, as they would say in Spanish, "en tu sangre." It's in your blood to just own assets and pass it down to family members. Have your own version of SUSU, but it's in the form of real estate and businesses, not just in a savings plan and whatnot, and the money that you can contribute and whatnot. But there's more work involved, you know, and that's what it is. And I'm with the work. I'm not just with the, you know, the savings plan. I'm with the work. You know what I mean? It's like, even with Care Bars, you got to put the work in. You can't just buy gold and save it. If you want it to be really profitable, you have to get other people to sign up and have them do the same thing and whatnot. But the beautiful thing is, they're in control of their own destiny. Nobody's forcing them to do it. And SUSU is more of a team sport, and I think it's a great thing. Like I said, I love the aspect of owning profit, owning assets and whatnot, and not just saving money and getting some couple dollars every month and whatnot, or a couple of months. That's the difference between me and others. I don't knock it. I think it's great, because a lot of people and families are benefiting from this. You know, like I said, a lot of people in the Caribbean, families in the Caribbean, benefited from it. It just depends on the group of people you're doing it with and the mindset. That's all it is. I totally respect it. I like it. I'm down for anybody that is putting dollars together and making it work, whether it's a SUSU, whether it's Care Bars, whether it's real estate, whether it's franchises, or just building your own business. If it involves money and ownership, sign me up. Okay. But I'm on the ownership side and whatnot. So in buying asset side of it. But I definitely commend people that do it. And you, like I said, you get nothing but love and respect from me on that one. So I leave it at that. But with the second stimulus check, you know, I made a video when the first one came out, and I was saying to people, now is the time to do things differently. Now that was, what was that? That was about almost 5 months ago when the first stimulus check came out. So now it's different times. We see what's happening with the virus. Unfortunately, we don't know, you know, where things are going to go and how things are going to end up and things of that nature. But it's interesting times we're living in, to say the least. So that's it. I'm just going to call it a night on that one, family. I just wanted to have a discussion in regards to, you know, how things are going, and you know, it's going to be very, very, very interesting. I was going to see if anybody want to come on and talk, but if not, it's all good. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see where things go from here on out, you know, economic wise. So I would just, I'm not an economist, but I would highly advise for people to save as much money as possible as they can. If you're going to make money moves on anything, you know, consult the financial professionals. Ensure that, you know, you have your cushions, because, you know, hard times might be coming economically. I'm not an economist, but I'm just saying hard times are going, you know, are going to be coming economically, and you just never know where things are going to end up, you know. And like I said, this one thing I said when I first started this channel, I said, and I quote, if your job was gone today, what would you do tomorrow? And now we've seen what's happened when people's jobs are gone today and what they're going to do tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's very, very, very interesting, you know, because now it's not a new phenomenon. We see what's going on. We see what's happening. So that's that, you know, if your side hustle is going to become your main hustle, you know, for those that are out there. I mean, I've talked to Uber drivers, Grubhub drivers, you know, their business has actually increased since this happened. Not the Uber drivers so much, but definitely Grubhub and Uber Eats and, you know, DoorDash, you know, their businesses increased significantly. Amazon workers is increased significantly. So if you're blessed and fortunate right now to still work and have a job, I will say, do the best you can and continuously save, have some backup plans, get some insurance policies, because, you know, when it comes to life now, everything, you got to have some sort of insurance policy nowadays. So be safe, you know, rock and engage with people who have the same mindset, because, you know, with people having more time on their hands, I know they're bringing more sports back, you know, and things of that nature. And I know people want to be able to have fun and be entertained. I totally understand it. I totally get it. Totally get it. But I will say with sincerity, you know, it's no more. It's not safe anymore. There's no more time for fun and games. It's time for, this is the time period for people to be serious. You know, let the twerking not commence. You know, let the stupid ratchetry be done with. You know, for now, take it. If you got to do it later, that's fine. But just take a chill pill with it. You know, now's the time to be serious. Now's the time to get organized financially. Now's the time to get educated as much as possible. It's like I do. I educate myself every day because I don't know everything. But now is not the time to just have fun. Hey, I'm the number one person that misses traveling and being able to go places and do things and all that good stuff. Trust me, I am. But I will say with sincerity, nothing matters more than your safety. Okay. Nothing matters more than your safety. Nothing matters more than your health. So definitely, definitely, do your darndest to ensure that you remain safe and healthy. And, you know, and that's another thing. It's like today's time period is letting people know, hey, don't take your health for granted. You know, cut down on the unhealthy activities. You know, not saying, no one's saying you have to zero it out, but cut down on the unhealthy activities, because we've all seen that, you know, anybody who catches the virus and is not in the best of shape, the chances of survival aren't as greater than it is somebody who's in better shape. All right. And that's not me talking, that's science talking, that's the medical profession talking, right? So anyways, please do the great free 3 things and like, share, and subscribe. And nice talking to you, family. And hopefully you guys have a great night. Next time I go live, hopefully we can have a discussion and engage more, because that's why I'm going live more, because I want to talk to y'all. I don't want to just make these videos and whatnot. I want to engage and get your perspective, because I could talk all day, but I want to hear what you guys have to say, all right? So take care and have a good day.